I had a phone call last night with my stepmother's father, who's 88 years old, and he's lived a really interesting life, and he immediately started dropping knowledge bombs on me as soon as we started talking. And one of the things he told me that I really took to heart and that stuck with me, it was a Christmas phone call, so we were talking about the holidays, and he was talking about guilt, and the fact that guilt characterizes so much of our lives. In some ways, it actually defines us. It's the thing that always keeps us attached to our regrets. It's our way of holding on to the past, I guess, to kind of learn lessons from it. And so because of that, it has some use. But he told me that, by and large, it's a waste of time. And I think he's right. I think he was really seizing on something really deep and important there, because as useful as guilt can be, it's only a tool, I think, to figure out where we've gone wrong and where the strategies that we've been employing have been failing. And so really it's an opportunity. I think our guilt always shows us some sort of way out of future guilt. And once we figured out what that way out is, we can let go of it. I think any character arc, any story, is characterized by someone's descent into the kind of self-recrimination that guilt brings up. If you don't get to that point, then you really haven't started an arc at all. There's no arc without suffering. But there's also the upswing that's on the other side of that arc. And that, I think, is the part that we should focus on. The clawing of our way back up to some place where guilt no longer has a strong hold on us, and where we get to decide the future by looking at what we've done and looking at what we should do and looking at what we can do. And all those things come together and they make for you a picture of life that's not only characterized by guilt, but by love and grace and such outdated concepts as those. Any character arc really has to start somewhere, and that place is usually somewhere we don't want to be. But to get to somewhere that we do want to be, we have to actually start the journey. And that means dealing with our guilt. And that means embracing our guilt. And that means moving forward without regrets. Merry Christmas.